ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः एरिमे गुरुवे पूर्वं वदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं श्रुतिस्मृति पुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायण सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः ॐ अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गतमाण्डूक्योपनिषत् समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो नमः शान्तिमन्त्रं भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वागंसस्तनोभिः व्यशेमदेवैतं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ चतुर्थलातशान्तिप्रकरणम्. These two mantras, as we saw just in our ABCD thought also, they go together. And these are the things which we have to have courage to listen. Then the contemplative ability to inquire, think, and subtlety to have conviction. And again the dariness, heroism to live that. What are the two shloka? 58, 59. Dharmaya iti jayante jayante te na tattvataha janma maya upamam tesham sacha maya na vidyate. This word in the experience the great saints are. And that's what they are trying to convey. It has these three or four stages. First is we are seeing the dharmas. Dharma means jiva and his dehendriya mana buddhyadi, and with that he is parsing the world. All these are called dharmas. Anything other than Paramatma. They are all there. And that means what? They have to come from somewhere. So they are born. That is what we think. They say, first sentence, dharma iti na jayante. Dharma iti jayante, te na jayante tattvataha. Why na jayante tattvataha? Because every dharma, when you go into their own ultimate truth of it, Bhuta Darshanam it is called, what you see is tattva. Listen carefully. Again, every dharma which we are seeing, inner and outer, when you go into their ultimate tattva, ultimate karana, we enter into the tattva only. Second is, that tattva is immutable. Therefore, from the immutable, unchangeable, deathless, changeless, modificationless, how can any of these things come? Cannot. Therefore, the jayante is a concept only but not reality. Therefore, na jayante tattvata. Then how do you explain it? Janma tesha maya upamam. Okay? The janma of them, janma includes their janma, their modification, even their disappearance. All maya upamam. And what is maya? Again from the tattva drushti, sacha maya na vidyate. Because that maya, which is projecting the world for us who are this side of the world, maya, cannot have its effect on the tattva that side. Because like I am this side of the cloud, therefore the cloud is blocking my vision of Surya. Two things there. Surya can never be clouded by any clouds. Second, if somebody is that side of the cloud, for him the sun is not clouded. Is it understandable clearly? In the same way, these four things, dharma hi jayante is your standpoint. Jayante na tattvataha is my ultimate standpoint. The negotiation between both of us is Janma Tesham Mayopayam. Mayopamam. It's a negotiation between both of us. But in that also to redeem you, the final truth I have to say, Sachamaya na vidyate. Again I am repeating. All the dharmas are existing, therefore they are born. The point is, they are not born in the tattva, which is its ultimate karana. Then, in the ultimate karana, when they are not there, when they are expressing, how come that expression is happening, whether we call it as creation, modification, destruction, that is called as inexplicability, what we call as Maya. And what is Maya? Sacha Maya na vidyate. In the recognition of the truth, it is not there. Anything you take, a golden ornament. Golden ornament is born. Dharma hi jayante. Tatvatha na jayante. If you go into the golden ornament, what is its tattva? Gold. Gold always is gold only, no? So it can't be born from itself. Something else cannot be born from it. From the gold, can the silver come? No. From the gold, can the gold come? No need. Then where are all the ornaments? That is what Maya Upamam. But Maya will be told further little more. What is that Maya, Sacha Maya? Navidyata means with whatever the Maya, how many number of ornaments you make, that won't influence the gold's goldness. Therefore, is that Maya there in the gold? Nahi hai. Like a very negative example I am giving. A fellow is so foolishly arrogant that he doesn't want to change. Negative example. So any 100 number of gurus or big people or elderly experienced people come and tell him, he won't change. He says, "My assume." That's why I said negative example. In the same way, to the gold, with your Maya of mind, how many ever number of ornaments you make it, गोल्ड का गोल्डनेस तो नहीं बदला ना. अब नहीं बदला तो देन कहाँ है रूप नाम? कैन यू से where are the rupa nama of the ornaments? Are they in the original gold? No. Are they in your mind? Yes, but no. It is in the sankalpa only, but not real because that can be changeable. Are they there in the ornament which is bereft of gold? No, ornament cannot be without the gold. When you think this coolly, you can't answer to anything in this world. That is the answer. But the problem can end when you discover the gold. Reality. Reality is luckily there. Therefore, in the recognition of reality, the unreal goes away, which was appearing. When it gone away, you will not have a question. इन वेदांत प्रश्नों का उत्तर नहीं होता, फिर प्रश्न ही गलत है प्रूव होता है. If you give answer to a question, you accept it as real. That's how people argue also in the world. If I don't answer, then they think that I have accepted their ilzam. Never have to prove, logic, justify, example. चिल्लाते हैं लोग. You are understanding four things? धर्माः ये जायन्ते इति ते तत्त्वतः न जायन्ते. But janma, modification, marana, maya upamam tesham. Sacha maya, in the absolute truth, na vidyate. In these four things only, the entire Vedanta is revolving. Truth alone is there, it is unmodifiable. That if you experience, your questions end. But today I am seeing the world. But world we take it as real. We say it is not only not real, but it is not at all born. Because in the absolute cause of this world, what you see is Paramatma or the ultimate truth, which is never changeable or modifiable. Then in between, that is why Vedanta says about Maya. See, by Maya we reject the world and reach Parabrahma. Others reject Maya and reject Parabrahma. Other Siddhanta, they accept the Jagat as real. Therefore, in them, the suffering will be there if not today, tomorrow. Because The suffering giving Jagat is accepted by them. Dvaita is accepted by them. And in the example of rope and snake, the reality is rope only, no? There's no snake. No, as long as you try to do anything on the snake, you are accepting snake is. When the snake is there, if not today, tomorrow it will trouble you. How to get rid of trouble of snake? Only when you recognize that it is not at all there. And it's not there is a fact. That is why that example is taken. If such example is not there, Vedantins would have not spoken their Vedanta. Luckily. Luckily उनको example है. Both way. Rope is real, snake is unreal, but it is imagined. It can give all the dukkha, but you can discover that it is not there. Therefore, all dukkha will go away. What is there is a rope. You can discover it. You can relax also. Complete example. Same way, self alone is there, Jagat is not there. The Jagat is imagined. If you give reality to that, you suffer with Dvandvasa. But if you go into the truth and reality of it, you will see the self in which Jagat is not there. Therefore, abide in that knowledge, you are liberated permanently. In between, then how and why the Jagat is happening? Sacha Maya na vidyate. So when you see from the acceptance of Jagat standpoint, it is Maya. Free from the Paramatma standpoint, it is Maya is not there, Jagat is not there. What is the meaning of accepting the Maya? It cannot be explained. It is like that. That is a fact. Intellect cannot have the answer to that question. But why? On Paramatma, the Jagat is superimposed. That is not answerable question from the time immemorial. But discovering Paramatma and rejecting the Jagat is possible, and that leads to liberation. Seek that. That is another effect I tell you. Dehendriya Manabuddhi. They're all Maya Janitana. That is why we can never identify with them permanently, nor we can get any sukha for them even through anything in this world. For anyone. That's the power of Maya. Then what is the solution? You transcend all this Dehendriya Manabuddhi. You reach the self. ये नहीं रहेंगे और इसके कारण सुख का प्रयास नहीं रहेगा और दुख मिलना नहीं रहेगा. Nobody can satisfy intellect with his knowledge. Transcend the intellect, establish in the self. Nobody can satisfy the mind's emotions, projections. Transcend the mind. Nobody can make the body eternally live with comfort and joy or health. Impossible to transcend the body. Nobody can be relatively world में happy हो सकते हैं. You have to transcend that relativeness. Because all this is Maya. When you are in Maya, trying it to make it real, it is an impossible thing. So that's how we suffer. This is how the intellect is sharpened. Intellect is given all these subtle logics to contemplate. In that heated contemplation intellect, all the wrong notions which we are strongly holding, therefore we are suffering. No, all of them get dwindled away, dissolved away, destroyed away, removed away. That's what is the solution. Half of the solution. That gives dukkha nivritti. But sukha prapti comes only discover your infinite nature. That doesn't appear now because for us today sukha means nidra sukha. Sukha means desire fulfillment. Sukha means people appreciate me. Sukha means indriya bhoga. This is what we define sukha and living in that. Like I decide to be a doctor and live as a doctor. I decide to be engineer, live in that. So we have decided like that. That is why that sukha is there in giving up all this and being in yourself doesn't click immediately. For that only you have to keep on studying Shastras. Till that conviction comes, the real Ananda is in being independent, being in non modifying, being in non change, being in non destruction. That is the nature of the reality and that reality myself. Then comes the desire. Then let me identify with that desire to be truly blissful, not the reflected happiness through the upadhi. वो सब तब click होगा. Now we are in the process of molding our mind intellect through this regular study to come to that level. It may happen today, tomorrow, next year, maybe next Upanishad or next life. जब होगा तब होगा बट होने वाला है उसके लिए हम कर रहे हैं सब. So dharma ये इति जायन्ते जायन्ते ते न तत्त्वतः जन्म तेषां मायोपमं सा च माया न विद्यते कैन यू गिव एन एग्जांपल यथा मायामयाद्बीजात् जायते तन्मयः अंकुरः न असौ नित्यो न चोच्छेदी तद्धर्मेषु योजना तद्वस dharmeshu. Same way with dharmas. Example, all the dharmas. First example, Maya Maya Bijat, Maya Maya Ankura. फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल को समझ लेना मायामय बीज से मायामय अंकुर आया इज इट परमानेंट नो बिकॉज माया सो कैन यू रिमूव दैट यू कांट बिकॉज इट्स नॉट रियल इज माया मायामय बीज मीन्स the jadugar he puts a seed in the earth he does some jadu and plant comes and everybody sees एक्चुअली इट इज नॉट देयर बट माया से ऐसा उनको लगता है कि रियली सो ये सोन ए सीड एंड ए प्लांट केम देन व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर मैजिक इज ओवर इफ यू आर क्लोज टू द मैजिशियन व्हेन यू आस्क हिम ही विल एक्सप्लेन कि देयर इज नो बीज आई ओनली डिड दिस जादू देयर इज नो ग्रोथ ऑफ प्लांट एंड देयर इज नो डिस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ इट न जन्म है उसका न मरण है therefore on the unborn undying paramatma imposing birth and death of the Jagat, which is never there, is called as Maya. This is what you have to become subtler. Imposing only it is, imagining only. And that imposition is because of your so many avidya, vasana, samskara. Or jitna bhi impose karo. Like as I gave example, how much ever you have imposed the chairness, the doorness, the windowness, the tableness, etc. on the wood, still all of them are unreal, wood alone is real. You may mold into that shape, you may name it, you may fix it there, you may use it for a long time. In spite of all that, door is never door, window is never window, table is never table, chair is never table, chair. What is wood alone is real. This is called Vedanta. Wood was there, wood is there, wood will be there. Chair was not there, chair will never be there. In between, chair appeared only, not real. But काम को आ रहा है, that is different issue. That's what we are saying. No, utility value is giving it reality. It is prompting us to give it reality. That is why they are called as desires or vasanas. That's why desires and vasanas are creating the world, sustaining the world. When the desire and vasanas are not there, world is not required, therefore no creation. What is there Paramatma? That is why Mula Roop mein remove your all Kamana, they say. That is why when the Kamana go away, that is the only qualifications to know the truth. Otherwise, the world you will see only through the mind of the desires, the desire-oriented mind, then you will see the Paramatma only as an object of utility. That is what millions of examples. Everyone. A technical fellow. Anything he sees, it looks from technical mind, a scientific minded. Anything he looks with the scientific minded. Now इधर टेक्निक है ना साइंस है बट उसका दिमाग में वो है. Is it not? Like an example of flower given famous. Flower is there, full stop. But for a poet, it is a means to describe. For a devotee, it's a means to offer his devotion. For a lover, to give it to this beloved. For a physicist, the physical properties, the chemist, the chemical property, and for a buffalo, खा लेगा उसको तोड़कर बस उतना ही. Flower is flower, but all things are because of their mind. In the same way, truth is truth. Entire world is because of our mind. What is mind? The vasanas, these desires. Remove them and see. The goggle of vasana, goggle of desire. If you remove and see, you won't see the world. You see Paramatma. You don't see any value reality. It's like two friends, a highly drunkard and a highly spiritual. दोनों दोस्त, अब दोनों मिलकर पूजा सामान खरीदने के दुकान में गए. For him, every aspect is important for the पुजारी वाला दोस्त. He'll go on inquiring, अगरबत्ती कितना है, कर्पूर कितना है, दिया बत्ती कितना है. The other fellow drunkard, उसको ये दुनिया कोई वैल्यू नहीं है उसको. देखा तू देख ले यार, मैं बैठता हूँ बाहर, वो करेगा. Is it not? And both of them, when you go to a liquor shop, दिस पुजारी को तो कुछ दिखता भी नहीं, वो देखेगा भी नहीं, यार मैं यहाँ बैठता हूँ, आई डोंट वांट लुक एट, बट दिस फेलो गोज एंड इंक्वायर्स क्या साइज है, कहाँ से आया, कितना क्वालिटी का कॉस्ट. डोंट यू सी, इज द नॉट एग्जाम्पल सफिशिएंट फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड that it is our desires which are making the world. Remove them, there's no world. And why desires come? Only by avidya. What is avidya? Not knowing that you are bliss eternal. Even while saying it by me and listening by you, still we are so far away from accepting this factual fact. Why? Because उस हद तक, like in Ramayana we are watching वाल्मीकि में, sometime when Vanaras throw a tree or a mountain on राक्षसा, कोई भी बड़ा राक्षस, वो उसके तक पहुंच भी नहीं रहा है, वो बीच में गिर रहा है, और पहुंचा ही नहीं है तो उसको घायल कैसा करेगा हो? Is it not? How will it harm? Same way, the words which I am uttering are not touching my own heart. What you are listening are not touching your own heart. Then how can they go and do the required repair thereof, removing the wrong notions that the world is real and replace the right understanding that the self alone is real? That's why Mananam Chintanam Nididhyasanam. Hrudayam Mai. And now who takes it to heart alone becomes samsari. Now who takes it to the heart alone becomes the sadhaka. The samsari takes world to the heart. We have taken it to the heart. To that heart where the samsara is entered, spirituality we are not allowing it to go. फिर ये उससे लड़कर उसको हराएगा कब? This example I am telling how we have to be listener and contemplator, then only remove the wrong notion, replace it by right understanding. तो यथा मायामयाद बीजात तन्मयोंकुरः जायते न असौ नित्यः न च उच्छेदि. Neither it is permanently there because वो real है ही नहीं है, न च उच्छेदि, again same reason it's not there. No, tadvat, in the same way, dharmeshu yojana. That's how first subtly understand the example and apply that understanding even to all dharmas also. Take the example of swapna, it will come in the next 5 slokas. It is a very highly useful example. The quotation of Shastras, the guidance and experience the Mahatmas, and our own experience of illusory world or the dream world. These are the four which should make us inquire to such a level of understanding that we start rejecting the world, that it is unreal. We should understand that self alone is real. When you are in Swapna, how real it is. Everything as you see in Jagrat is there in Swapna. But when you wake up, all that is unreal. Same. In the non-apprehension of the real self, everything in the Jagrat is appearing as real. When you awaken to that, it all will be unreal. But because we have Purushartha, unlike the dream, we have both opportunity to sustain reality to give given to the world and continue to be samsara. Everybody is executing that choice. Opposite choice also is there. In knowing the world to be unreal and thus keep it away from his mind, then apply that purified mind in the search of self and discover self and establish in its experience where the world is not there. That choice also is there. In dream, there is no choice. Which dream will come, we have no choice. And how long it will stay, we don't know. When will we wake up, we don't know. A choiceless helps me. That's the only problem. In the waking plane choice है, वो भी वो problem है, because if you don't know right choice. In the jagat, without studying shastra, jagat jagat में, without inquiring, Continuing to take ourselves Jiva and Dehadi, we can live for the entire life, nay, for millions of lives. Choice. All are executing that. In the same human life where all freedom, energy, abilities are given, you can use it and Shastra is given, Satsang is given, Dimag is given. उसको यूज करते हुए सत्य को सत्य के रूप में मिथ्या को मिथ्या के रूप में जानने का चॉइस है. Those are selecting this choice. They are becoming spiritual. Then their track becomes different. They can't be in the world as it is real in indulgence of everything. They'll be withdrawing from world, they'll be going within, they'll go and touch the core, the self. They are liberated. Example is Yatha, just like Maya Mayad Amradi Bijat. From the seed like mango, etc., which are Maya Maya. Jayate Tanmayaha means Maya Mayaha Ankuraha. The Maya Maya Ankar only will come like in a TV. तो मायामय है क्योंकि रियल है ही नहीं बट मायामय अंकुर भी आया फिर नसौ अंकुर नित्य एंड इट इज नॉट इटर्नल एंड नच उच्छेदी दैट यू कांट इवन कट इट आल्सो देवर ऑल द थ्री इट्स बर्थ इट्स इटर्निटी और इट्स डिस्ट्रक्शन all the three are not speakable about that. So to the world is born, world will be eternal for long time or world can be removed. All three are wrong notions. Then how to remove world knowing that it is never there? That is what Ajatavada. At the root level he is removing. In other Vadas of Shankara, otherwise Ajatavada, but as regards Satsanga is concerned, Jagat is there, so you have to go to Guru, you will listen. And those who carefully use Shankara's guidance, they reach to Gaudapada Sthiti. Those who are misusing Shankara's guidance, instead of accepting only the Guru, Satsanga or liberating aspects of duality, but accepting all other things, they go and caught up in the world, samsara. And those who are at Gaudapada's level, they are always safe. Because they don't accept the Janma also of the Jagat. It is water, there is never born, wave born, he says. बट दिख रहा है ना यार वो शेप वगैरह मैं नहीं देखना चाहता भाई अब तुम मेरे को बोल मैं तुमसे बात कर रहा हूँ वेव नहीं है तो हाँ कह रहा हूँ चलो ठीक है मैं अपनी बात कहता हूँ कि पानी है कि नहीं उसमें तुम डिनाई कर सकते हो क्या पानी को नहीं आई कैन डिनाई योर वेव बट यू कैन डिनाई माई पानी Therefore, what is real? Pani is real. That's what I am saying. The wave is never born. But दिख रहा है कहाँ दिख रहा है यार If you microwave, if you observe, every waves, every iota is water only. He's talking from that standpoint. This fellow, other one is starting, if water was stable, a stone fell or a wind came, therefore it took a shape of wave. Yes, a wave is born. You are giving a form and name to water and you are calling it as birth. So what is born is not wave. What is born is form and name. And form and name are not the two water. Never. Then in your kujli, you are giving it. But it is waving. You are holding to same point. I am saying this only water. So this ज्ञानी वो वेव आके उसको लैश भी करे he knows it is not a wave water only. He is established in that tattva. He is not compromising. That is karikakara sthiti. Now, नास नित्यो न अंकुरः नित्यः न च उच्छेदी विनाशी वा why अभूतत्वात् because it's not real. Tadvat eva, in the same way, dharmeshu, towards all the jiva bhavas, deha bhavas, janma nashad yojana is yukti. The janma and nash of that also is impossible because it's unreal only. That means what? Natu paramarthatah dharmanam janmaha nashava yujyate iti arthaha. Paramarthatah. From the supreme standpoint, arthanam, to the jiva ityadi, dharmanam, to the jiva dehani, na janma asti, devana nasha asti. If you imagine janma, then you talk about nasha. That is your avesha. We say it is not born, there is no death. You say wave is born, so you only have to talk the wave died. We have never seen wave, we have seen only water. Water is never born, never die. That you can't deny. वाटर हमेशा है ना उधर, कभी मरा ही नहीं वो। तो हम वो बात कर रहे हैं, तुम कहते हो जन्म हुआ वेव का, तुम ही कहोगे मरे मर गया वो। सो जगतवादी सीज जन्म मरण, आत्मवादी से नो जन्म नो मरण, ओनली आत्मा। Now, how intellect has very sharp to catch these observations, logics. Every example is unique. When you say the gold without getting modified is appearing of the ornament, but there is no ornament at all. Whatever is there, only gold. It is a naked absolute truth. But you laugh at it because you are habituated to the ornamentness. सत्य तो सोने में कोई आभूषण था ही नहीं जब इट वॉज इन द ओर फॉर्म when this abhushan is slipped from your hand goes into the earth for 700 years again it remain comes to become a gold only. All the ornaments are your imagination, they were never in the gold. Even when you are wearing it still it is gold. नाम कुछ भी दो, रूप कुछ भी दो, यूज कहीं भी करो, same thing we use as ornament, but you can use it as a knife and cut. When you making it as knife and using it as knife and using it to cut vegetable, did the goldness go away from it? No. But the knifeness will go away. It become blunt. It can be broken. It can be melted back. So the karma of cutting, the shape in the sharpness, the name called as knife, they are all jagat. That is srishti, which was never there in the gold. Even though when it is used. एंड यूज इज देयर फॉर द वन हु हैज यूटिलिटी वैल्यू, जिसको सब्जी काटना ही नहीं है, वो सोना ही है। इट्स ओनली अ गोल्ड, ही नेवर टॉक्स इट हैज अ नाइफ आल्सो। he says that gold only, you may have to call it as knife and tell बेटा इसको knife कहते हैं, it is sharpened, इससे सब्जियां काट सकते हैं, that value you have. So to the परमात्म ज्ञान में जाने वाले सारे जगत को डिवैल्यू करते हैं, इसलिए उस जगत के पीछे रहने वाले सत्य को वो पहचान पाते हैं। And all the discussion is to reject the Dvaita Jagat. Then the question, what is absolute reality, is Satchidananda Atma. That is to be done. Then only the knowledge is complete. Now, there is a next sloka. He says, ki Shashvata Shashvata and Nitya Anitya. Talked about when you see the Jagat as well as the substrate of a Jagat called Bhagavan. But when you reach to Bhagavan's sthiti, no, he is not available even to these sacred words called as he is Nitya and Shashvata. They are very sacred words. They are the nearest definitions of Paramatma. He is Nitya, Ajo Nitya, Shashvatoyam, Purana. That's what Gita and all Upanishad talk about Paramatma. Here Karikakara takes a step ahead. The Upanishad, when it spoke that is a self where the speech goes and comes back without accomplishing its job, mind goes and comes back without accomplishing its job. To that, how can you talk it as Ajaha or Nitya also? Ajaha Nitya are the words, concepts. How can you talk about word and concept to the self which cannot be reached by Mani, Mana and Vani as per your own Upanishad? That level Karikakara is there. So you can't call it as Shashvata also. You can't call it Nitya also. Adeni Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Purana Anyate Anyamane. There's all from that which is born and dying. From that standpoint, it is told. You know this principle if you understand. Like in Lord Surya, there is no darkness. All of us understand it. But there's a subtle truth than this. Because there is no darkness in Surya, there is no light also. Because light and darkness are the contrast aspects. If you talk one, you have to talk other also. We call Surya as light because there is something contrasting as darkness. बट रियली सूर्य भगवान यहाँ जाओ तो उनमें डार्कनेस है ही नहीं है, तो डार्कनेस नहीं है तो लाइट का भी कोई मायना नहीं रहता। then he is neither light nor dark in absolute self. In the world, everywhere. If somebody is good, that means there is somebody bad. If nobody is bad, nobody, then where is what is good? What is good, bolo? That is always in comparison with something, no? दूसरा वाला है ही नहीं है तो इसका भी नाम इट्स लाइक व्हेन द दृश्य इज देयर आई एम द्रष्टा व्हेन नो दृश्य हाउ कैन आई बी द्रष्टा कोई दृश्य नहीं रहा तो मैं दृष्टा भी नहीं हूं ना इंटरेस्टिंग इन द सेम वे द प्योर सेल्फ कैन नेवर बी स्पोकन एज शाश्वत और अशाश्वत nor it can be spoken as nitya or anitya. This is how we have to go beyond the mouth speaking and intellect's conceptualization. The effort of Karikakara here to remove even these sacred words about the self, Nitya Shashtra, is don't get stuck up at the intellectual concept level, not at the speaking level, not your quotation level. Nayamatma Paravasanena Namedaya Bhavana Shrutena, and also Nayamatma Tarkena Labhya. It is to be experienced. Therefore, the word concept is being made to be dropped. Once you experience, then when you have to speak, you have to say as Nitya and Shashvat only. To those people who are seeing Anitya and Ashashvat. That's how you can't say it Chaitanya also. Because in him there is no Jada ultimately. When the Jada nahi hai, so how can you call it as Chaitanya? Because Chaitanya is in contrast with Jada. So to Sadasat also. You call it is a Sat because you are seeing Asat. In that there is no Asat, then you can't call it as Sat also, Baba. That is the meaning of words don't reach. Concepts don't reach. Concept is intellect. That is the experience. This we have to believe in. Immediately we don't believe. In the beginning तो हमको mental हो जाता है ऐसे sentence सुनकर. Inacceptable होता है. We refuse. We fight with it. That is what everybody goes through. But while going through, if he doesn't give up Shastra and Guru, holds on to them, that initial vomitings, initial frustration slowly go away. Then what they are meaning and why they are saying so, that will be slowly digested. Then we come to an understanding. अरे यार इसका ऐसे ही बोलना पड़ता है. अब तक जो मैंने कहा गुरु कंफ्यूज कर रहे थे, but the self can be spoken like that only. That understanding you will understand that day. After many, many years of sticking to Guru. Then real sadhana in which the intellectual concepts, the naming of the mouth, the forming of the eyes is dropped, then you become that. You recognize that as yourself, which cannot be said anything. So, देखो हमेशा याद रखना, the Atma is always Mauna Vyakya. Okay? Then the Jagat is, it is what is called as Indriya Vakya. And the Mana Indriya are Mithya Vakya. आत्मा का मौन व्याख्या होता है यू कांट स्पीक आउट आत्मा द एंटायर अंतकरण इज मिथ्या वाक्य एंड व्हाट एवर जगत इज अ स्थूल वाक्य शब्द वाक्य इस तरह से ये तीन इस जगत में हमको दिखते हैं स्लोली सो इन दिस वे इन दिस मंत्र न अजेषु सर्वधर्मेषु शाश्वता शाश्वताभिधा यत्र वर्णा न वर्ण्यन्ते वर्तन्ते विवेकस्तत्र नोच्यते इसका ये अर्थ है जो हमने इसका आज देखा है थोड़ा सा लिटिल टच along with भाष्य we will see it or this much भाष्य you can continue it I think today hmm. Rama 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 Mhm. Mm, 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 mm. Like Jagat is called speakable, vachaniyam. Maya is anirvachaniyam, and Paramatma is mauna vachaniyam, mauna vyakya. That's what they say somewhere. Now, let me see. Yeah. Nitya paramartatah tu atmasu ajeshu nitya ekarasa vignapti matra sattakeshu shashvatah ashashvatah iti va na avidha na avidhanam pravartati ityartha. In fact, every expression, whether it's a jiva or the Hendriyadi, in their final bhutavada, they're all pure self. And that can never be named as Shashvata, nor it can be named as Ashashvata. Names won't work there. Then, when the names are not there, with the name only you do the Varnana, the Varnana will not be there. Varnyante yaihi arthaha te varnaha. The word Shabdaha. Na pravartante. अविधातुं प्रकाशयितुं न प्रवर्तन्ते इति अर्थः. This is how the what is said here. Yatra varnana varnyante means the letters combination of which become words and combination of which become sentence, combination of which gives a explanation about something. None of this, the vakyas, the padas, the aksharas, which explain something cannot reach परमात्मा. इसलिए वर्ण में ये नहीं आता, अवर्णनीयम है. यत्र वर्णा न वर्तन्ते. This is one. The name that it is shashvata ashashvata, you can't talk about it. No words letters reach it. Third one, tatra vivekah api na uchyate. Means what? Idam evam iti vivekaha, viviktata. This is like this is like this. Saying so is called as vivekaha. Tatra, in that Paramatma Tattva, no viveka can be possible of any sort. And what is the final of the viveka? Nitya and anitya, no? That nitya anitya also you can't speak. He says, tatra nityaha anityaha iti api na uchyate. Because they are contrast. It is not anitya, therefore you can talk it as nitya. There is nothing anitya in it other than it. Therefore, it can't be spoken as nitya. That is why yato vacho nivartante iti shruti. That's why we quoted the shruti which says yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvat nabibheti kudaschaneti. We will see it in next Kathopanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. ठीक है. अब इतना आज काफी है. Few श्लोकास आते हैं. We'll see from 61. Here, same thing is explained by taking the example of the swapna. And beautiful it is. We have to become little sublime to catch it, to be little more faith to catch it. And with all the understanding or knowledge, be attentive, be careful. One fact remains as fact. The fact is, if you have avesha, all knowledge you will keep aside. You will continue to live as jiva, deha, samsara. Therefore, just like we have given up the avesha of the worldly study and taken up the study of Vedanta, so too the avesha that I am real, I am body, and the world is real, unless that is dropped, the intellectual knowledge cannot be experienced on the seat of meditation. This is a very sublime thing which was already told to us 6, 7, 8 slokas back. यावदेतु फलावेश तावदेतु फलोदय क्षीणेतु फलावेश नास्तेतु फलोद्भव. Very powerful it is. Means what? With no Vedantic deep knowledge, if someone gives up the avesha, truth is immediately revealed to him. With all the intellectual knowledge, if somebody is not giving up the avesha, he will be intellectually knowledgeable only, he will never have the experience of the truth. But to give up the avesha to the worldliness, is the toughest job. Again, why? Because of the desire and vasana. Therefore, in the beginning, in the middle, till the end, we have to be careful about these vasanas and desire and keep on eliminating them. And such a pathetic paradox life of a person is that when at one side he is talking about Paramatma, which is reality, in him nothing there other than it, other side still is valuing the Bhautikavada. He is called in Gita as Mithyachari. You will never enjoy the world properly because any other time in the world, you'll remember the spirituality. You'll never enjoy the heights of spirituality because while doing so, still a corner of his eye, like that Gita, yesterday example, is on again the worldliness. And this is what every one of us go through for a big period of time. And who makes us cross that situation and go to next level is Guru Krupa, Shastra Krupa. That's why hold on to Guru Charana and surrender to the Shastra, then it will help us. And that is why yesterday Uddhavaji in Bhagavata said, Na anyatva charanara vindat. Other than your feet, O Lord, nobody can take us out of this bila of samsara. We went there for Urutrashna, Urutarsha, Shudra Urutarsha. Therefore, tell us, me jnanam batao, viveka vijnana yatao, tell me the vairagyam also, then the bhakti. See that question, that of the evening class, morning Upanishad, Jodhna. And that's not directly mentioned here or there. That's why you need some Vyakyanakara who will explain both of them independently and combiningly. That is called our Acharya Guru. That is the Satsang. So by this, the Ekavakyata is established between Bhagavata and Upanishad and the complementation of both of them to convey the thought completely. And what is the completeness of thought? It is we who, because of our avesha, are becoming really in the world as worldly, really. And it is we who only have to become aveshita to study Shastra. And it is we only who have to have the avesha to know the truth. And to know the truth, we have to give up this avesha of the worldliness. We. The situations will help. Take the help of the helping situation. People will help. Take the help of the helping people. Satsangs will help. Take their help. करना हमको हेल्प उनका है. खुद करोगे बिना हेल्प का तो नहीं होगा. हेल्प मिल रहा है नहीं कर रहे हो तभी नहीं होगा. ना हेल्प ले रहे हो ना कर रहे हो तो कभी नहीं होगा. That's how the few subtle things, when we add, subject becomes complete. Now, Najeshu Sarva Dharmeshu Shashwata Shashwata Yatra Varnana Varnante Vivekastatra Nochade Yada Swapne Dvayabhasam Chittam Jariti Maya Tata Jagra Dvayabhasam Chittam Jariti Maya Advencha Dvayabhasam Chittam Swapnena Samsheha Advencha Dvayabhasam Tata Jagrana Samsheha Swapna Druk Pracharan Swapne Dikshu Vaidasha Sustitan Andajansve Janvavi Jivan Pashidian Sada स्वप्न दृक्चित्त दृश्यास्ते न विद्यन्ते ततः पृथक् तथा तदृश्यमेवेदं स्वप्न दृक्चित्तमिष्यते चरन् जागृते जाग्रत दिक्षु वैदश्य सुस्थितान् अंडजान्से जानवापि जीवान् पशुयान् सदा जाग्रच्चित्तेक्षणीयास्ते न विद्यन्ते ततः पृथक् तथा तदृश्यमेवेदं जाग्रतश्चित्तमिष्यते उभे ह्यन्योन्य दृश्येते किं तदस्तीति नोच्यते दक्षिणाशून्यमुभयं तन्मतेनैव गृह्यते यथा स्वप्नमयो जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च यथा मायामयो जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च यथा निर्मितिको जीवः जायते मृतेऽपि च निर्मितको जीवः तथा जीवामि सर्वे भवन्ति न भवन्ति च न कश्चित् जायते जीवः सम्भवोऽसि न विद्यते तत्तदुत्तमं सत्यं यत्र किञ्चन जायते. These again 10 shlokas are one particular subject. Continue tomorrow. Om 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 Om. Today's our Shakti series is the Shakti to get freed from misery. What Shakti? Jagat Mithyatva Jnana Shakti. Important, should be taken up as early as possible. Else we just suffer the changes which are inevitable, which happen in the world, in the people, in ourselves also. The old ages, the diseases, the deaths, the bereavement, the losses, thing will have the influence to make us suffer. You understand Mithyatva Jnana, then that Shakti will help us to at least reduce the influence of that. That's why it becomes very inevitable to reduce our suffering in the world. We are not come in this world to suffer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasa Purnamadaya Purnamevashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai Paramanushabhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Namaha Manduka Maharshe Gaudapadacharya Varyaya Ate Shankarat Guruve Namaha Asmat Guru Bhyo Namaha Tatsat Brahma Arpanamastu. Just 3 minutes, our Bhashyam we will do. Today I have to run to an